Thanks, Rob. Hey, Coach Mike. Just curious, what kind of an emotional lift is it to get your head coach back today?
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, he deserves to be back. It's, anytime your leader comes back to the building and is going to lead us into the battle this weekend, I think it's a great thing for our football team.
Hey, Mike, before last Sunday, what was your favorite moment as a Browns fan?
That's a great question. We had 3 tough AFC championship losses back in the 80s. Those were tough. I remember each one of them vividly. Probably making it that far. I can't think of one right offhand, but I know those 3 seasons were a lot of fun because obviously I was in college or in flight school for those 3. And there were 3 great seasons for our organization and just came up one game short each year.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tom. We'll go to Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Coach, we got you right after the game, but what was the rest of your night like? What was Monday morning like, or, even early Monday when you landed and saw the fans, and just what kind of feedback did you get?
Really, made some phone calls from the locker room after the game. I talked to my wife and my kids and my dad. My mom was like asleep, but we woke her up, talked to her real quick. Obviously very excited for our whole family, for our city. For all our fans. And I think, I think I said it after the game, there was really no time to reflect on that game right now. When you wake up Monday and you grade the tape and, I thought we played really well on special teams and we did some good things and a couple of things we left on the field like we always do, but you can always get better. And then you started watching Kansas City tape, you come down to earth real quick. I mean, they're outstanding. They got 3 great returners. I mean, they got guys coming off the practice squad that can return kicks, and they have great kicker, outstanding rookie punter, good snapper. They're extremely well coached. Dave does a great job with that unit. So I think you don't have time, to be honest with you. This is obviously just as big or bigger game for our football team, and because it's the next one, and we got to get ready for Sunday.
Thank you, Nate. Scott Petrick is next.
Hey, Mike, we've asked you about guys contributing up and down the roster before, but in your position, it feels like so many of these guys so well. Just what does it say about the roster and the team in general that, these backups seem to make plays week in and week out?
2 things it tells me. Number one, our personnel people are bringing in the right type of guy, and they're talented enough. They're smart enough. They're tough enough. And it tells me a lot about our staff, our coaches. I mean, Scott Peters, our assistant line coach, did a phenomenal job. I was talking to Bill Callahan about Scott yesterday about what a great job he did with those young offensive linemen and spending extra time with them and meeting with them over Zoom and making sure that when we were practicing that they were getting their work in and across the board. Brandon Lynch did a great job with the secondary. Ryan Cordell did a great job with the O-line without the other 2 O-line coaches and across the board. Alex did a great job of calling plays. Joe did a great job of calling the defense Sunday. It was a great team effort, and that's kind of the cool thing about our staff and our players and our personnel people, everybody meshing and working together to have a successful, cohesive unit, and that's what we're always looking for.
And how gratifying is that as a coach when you see a guy that maybe, people aren't expecting to play well and he goes out like a Michael Dunn just pops into my head and plays really well in his first experience?
Yeah, he did a great job, and Blake Hance did a great job, and Kendall Lamb stepped up. We had guys stepping up, playing a bunch of offense and defense on special teams, and played well. Jernus Johnson played outstanding on Sunday night. MJ Stewart made some nice plays. We had Andrew Zendejo end up playing on 3 phases for us with all the defense he was playing because of an injury we had. So the guys stepped up across the board, and Doug Coleman, my assistant, did a great job, taking over some of my duties on game day and getting those corrections made, and so we can continue to improve. And the coolest thing, and I told our guys this in the meeting yesterday, and we went over kickoff from the game Sunday night. The coolest thing for me was when we were kicking off for the 5th time in the first quarter, which obviously has never happened to me before. These guys wanted it more and more and more. It's one of those things. They never took a playoff. They never, not that they would anyway, but their attitude and their aggressiveness and the way they approached each one of those plays on Sunday night, it just felt like the game. They were playing harder and harder as the game wore on, instead of taking it for granted that we're up 28-0. So that was a really cool thing for me to see.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Scott. Dan Lobby, you're up.
Hey, Mike, obviously that was a really emotional game on Sunday night, and we saw, the celebrations in the locker room after. There was a lot of emotion kind of around that game. So what have you seen from guys and kind of putting that game behind them and, getting on those Zooms on Wednesday and focusing on the Chiefs?
I thought it was kind of cool that we were on the practice field on a Wednesday for the first time in about 2 weeks. So that was a relief. We were in pads and we were out there practicing. I think half the practice was full speed, and the other practice more of a jog through, so we can save their legs, and understanding that we are in mid-January and we've been playing a lot of football these past several months. So the guys came with a great attitude. It was very workmanlike. There wasn't a whole lot of talk about Sunday night. It was talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and the task that we have set before us, because they're a very, very good football team.
Is that challenging to kind of get guys to refocus after a game like that, or did guys just kind of do it?
You would think, because I've been part of that before, where it's hard after a big win or emotional win to get them refocused, but not this group. This group's been incredible all year when it comes to that type of stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. We'll go to Jeff Shadell.
Hey, Mike, looking at those Kansas City numbers, that Byron Pringle looks like he could be a kind of a dangerous kick returner. What do you see from him?
And he's their backup kickoff returner, and he's outstanding. McCall Hardman's their number one guy. And, McCall Hardman's a 4.28 guy that's about 190 pounds, but incredible quickness. And Byron Pringle's a big, strong guy that is also very fast, that can run through arm tackles. And so they're both very, very good. And, you probably can tell the circles under my eyes. I haven't been sleeping much the last couple of nights, because I do wake up in the middle of the night going, oh boy, we got to figure out a way to get these guys stopped, because it'll be hard to kick touchbacks all the time. I mean, that's the easy answer, right? Kick touchbacks, but it's not always the case in Kansas City in mid-January with the winds and the cold and that type of thing. So we got to go out and we got to execute like we did on this past Sunday night against another very good special teams unit, and I thought we played well against them.
Thanks, Jeff. Back to Tom Withers.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Mike, what's it like to be the man in charge and be up 28-0 in the first quarter?
Really, to be honest with you, it was just one play at a time. I think our whole team looked at that. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, it's, we scored on that first, scrimmage play after we covered that first kickoff. And, I turned around and I just told the field goal team to get out there. We're going for one. And then you go on to the kickoff and you go on to the next play. And then we had an, interception, and we take it down and we score again. I knew that they were going to give us their best shot, especially in the third quarter, and they did. And they made it very, very competitive. Obviously, we knew a Coach Tomlin team, they weren't going to back down. They weren't going to throw in the towel. They're too good a football team. They're too well coached, and we knew they were going to give us their best shot, and they did. And our guys responded well and responded to the adversity in the third quarter. And then the score that made it 42-23 was huge. That was a great drive by our offense. That was crucial, because we had gone 3 and out a couple of times in a row, and then gone down and scored a couple of touchdowns. And we answered that. Baker and the whole offense did such a great job, and it was a great answer to what they were throwing at us in the third quarter.
And you guys obviously had to adjust and adapt, and you implemented a contingency plan that had been in place for a long time. Mm-hmm. Does this change the workflow at all now going forward? Did you guys learn anything through the way you had to interact during that game that you can that'll serve you well now going forward?
I know if I'm in that position again, I'll do a better job. I think we did some good things, and I'm pretty tough on myself. So going back, I'm looking back at that game, and I'll learn from it. And I'm sure I'll watch the TV copy at some point and say, okay, what could I have done better? What could I have done more effectively to help our football team? So if that ever happens again, I'll do a better job for our team.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tom. Marla Ridenour, you're next.
Yeah, Coach, just when you were talking about the guys playing harder and harder, have you seen that before, or is that something you feel like has been building to that moment?
I guess that's one of your fears as a coach, that when you get up 28-0, guys kind of relax a little bit. And I didn't see that from our guys. I thought you would think that in the third quarter when they started coming back. But again, that's a very good football team, and they're going to throw everything they had at us. And we took their best shot and responded and ended up winning by 11. I know they scored late. So that's obviously one of your focuses is, okay, hey guys, this game's not over. So our big theme in the locker room, even though it was 35-10 at half, was this one's far from over. And the guys, they knew exactly what I was going to say. I'm sure the other coaches were saying it too before we even said it, that this game's far from over. We got 30 minutes left, and we got to go out there and play. I know it's coach speak that it's 0-0 when it's not, but they the guys responded well. Offense, defense, special teams, everybody. It was great.
And I can't resist. Was your mom mad that you woke her up?
I passed that one off on my dad. He woke her up so she could congratulate me. But you know, the fact that I got to talk to my wife and all my kids were in the stands after the game. I told you guys that after the game. That was very emotional and it meant a lot to me. It's something we'll never forget as a family, and the opportunity that the Browns organization and Kevin and Andrew and the Haslam family gave me to be in charge for that 3-hour period was something I'll never forget.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marla. We'll go to Tony Grossi. This will be our final question for Coach Priefer.
Hey, Mike, since Kevin left it up to you to deliver the final speech in the locker room, what was the theme? Was it a win one for the Gipper, or was it else? Did you go elsewhere?
I basically told them what the theme was the whole week. You know, we had to win the turnover battle. We had to, because we had not practiced much that week, we had to rely on our fundamentals and techniques. We didn't have to do anything extraordinary. It was a good football team. We had to go out and play well, but we didn't have to, be a miracle workers. We just had to go play our game, be the Cleveland Browns. And we had to stick together as a team through any adversity that we had. So I basically told them, play this game like you wish you would have played it when you wake up Monday morning. And what I meant by that was leave it all on the field. Leave everything, have no regrets, just go out and play your game, win as a team. And that's exactly what we did.